this is Dr. Nirmala from Niramai Clinic and Counseling Center. Yes, we've reverted back to our original name because Wellness Factor seems to be used a lot on YouTube. So the topic we're going to discuss today is diabetes and obesity. Are they two faces of the same coin? And if they are related, then how?
Before we start, please remember that any diet has to be personalized in consultation with a professional nutritionist or else your physician.
If you have the same challenges that I do where health is concerned, then every visit to the doctor, you would have heard one of these two statements, if not both. The first being, you better lose weight or else you're going to become diabetic very soon. The other, where you have high cholesterol and that's explained by the fact that you are obese. I'm not saying that these statements made by the doctors are entirely false, but then it doesn't give us the complete picture either. It's like looking at a painting of the full moon, let's say. If we have just the picture of the moon, we don't know where the artist was when he actually painted that. So saying that a person is diabetic because he's obese, or the fact that they have high cholesterol or high BP is because of obesity or being overweight, it's like looking at that painting of the full moon without actually getting the whole picture.
So what exactly is diabetes? Now remember, when I'm talking about diabetes here, I'm talking only about type 2 diabetes. There are two types of diabetes, one which occurs in children or adolescents, which is called type 1 diabetes, and type 2 diabetes is something that's seen mainly in adults. There's also something called gestational diabetes, which is what pregnant women may face, but here I'm talking only about type 2 diabetes which occurs in adults. How does a person know whether they are diabetic? Well, a simple blood test will tell them. Usually, a person with high blood sugar will face a lot of tiredness or fatigue. They may start experiencing unexplained weight loss. They start reporting that their sleep is disturbed because they have to wake up many times in the middle of the night in order to urinate. They have excessive thirst. Many times, a person with high blood sugar will also report that when he gets a wound or hurts himself, it doesn't heal very fast. A simple blood test will show you whether a person has high blood sugar or no. A fasting blood sugar of more than 126 milligrams per deciliter, or a random blood glucose, meaning at any time of the day the blood glucose is above 200 milligrams per deciliter, is indicative that a person is diabetic. The other test that can help in diagnosing diabetes is the HbA1c, which is the 3-month average sugar reading, and also what's called an oral glucose tolerance test, where the person is asked to drink a concentrated solution of glucose and the blood sugar is then measured after 2 hours. Learning that there was a cause for obesity and also for diabetes, and it was not all my fault or it wasn't because of overeating, this was a big eye-opener for me. In the previous 2 videos, I have explained my journey with weight loss, my struggles with it, the various health related issues that I have had because of obesity, and I also shared that today I experience the best level of health that I have had in many years. In the process of reading up about obesity and the causes for it and trying to figure out how I could come off diabetes medication, I learned that there was something called insulin resistance. People who struggle to lose weight and are also diabetic, and maybe they have either hypertension or high cholesterol, there is a very high chance that they are insulin resistant.
So what is insulin? Insulin is one of the most important hormones in our body. What are hormones? Hormones are substances which help our body to function normally, and hormones are produced within our body. So insulin is one of these hormones which, along with a lot of other substances like leptin, ghrelin, the thyroid hormone, glucagon. So these hormones or substances
They direct the way that food is broken down and stored in our body. Every time we eat, the pancreas produces insulin, and this insulin tells the body how to process the food that we are eating. And insulin is especially released in more quantity when we have something that has a lot of carbohydrate in it. If we remember what we learned in school and college, the food pyramid, we know that right at the bottom was the carbohydrates. Now, carbohydrates mean bread, rice, pasta, noodles. We were always taught that our maximum consumption of calories, that is the energy we get from our food, should be from carbohydrates. So what does all this have to do with insulin resistance? Like we were saying earlier, in our food pyramid, we have always been taught that 65% of the food that we eat has to be carbohydrates, and without that we would not get enough energy. But if a person is insulin resistant, then how will these carbohydrates be broken down in the body? What do we mean by insulin resistance? It means that the body is producing insulin, but for some reason, the insulin is not able to do what it's supposed to do. And what's insulin supposed to do? It's supposed to break down carbohydrates and give the carbohydrates to the skeletal muscle, the brain, the heart, and all the parts of the body so that we have enough energy to function. But if the insulin is not able to do that, then what happens? All the sugar from the carbohydrates just keeps accumulating, and some of it gets converted into fat. So we need to know that diabetes is a very inflammatory condition. So people who are diabetic are much more prone to having cardiovascular disease, for example, a heart attack, or else peripheral vascular disease, which means a person who is diabetic when they have an injury or an infection in either their fingers or toes, and if this infection doesn't heal, it leads to the cells in those parts of the body dying. And this infection can also spread to other parts of the body, and this is actually quite life-threatening. In order to avoid loss of life, doctors are then forced to carry out what's called an amputation or surgically remove that part of the body. In addition, people who are diabetic are also prone to certain kind of cancers, they're prone to having kidney problems and also stroke. This is the reason why it is so important for a person who has diabetes to bring the sugar under control. What we know is that India is fast becoming the diabetes capital of the world. And this means that more and more Indians are going to be in hospital not because of infections and infectious diseases, but because of the complications of diabetes. Today, thanks to researchers and doctors who've been asking the right questions, we know that diabetes may be one of the later manifestations of insulin resistance. Initially, people may have difficulty losing weight, their BP may start going high, they may have high cholesterol. Women may have what's called PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. And it's much later on that people actually start having high blood sugar. A person with insulin resistance, when they have high BP, high cholesterol, increased weight, and finally diabetes, this is called metabolic syndrome. We also know today that apart from metabolic syndrome, there are so many other manifestations of insulin resistance. For example, migraine. We also know that a lot of neurological conditions like Alzheimer's, multiple sclerosis, and even Parkinson's is more common amongst people who are insulin resistant. Over the next few videos, I will be talking about insulin resistance, the cause of it, and also what we can do to overcome it. But in the meanwhile, do go back to the last video where I talk about obesity and the first formula for overcoming obesity. Do you remember what it is? Giving up sugar. Giving up sugar is one of the main things you need to do if you are insulin resistant. So until next time, this is Dr. Nirmala signing off. And remember, wellness begins with your plate.